I'm pretty sure you have heard the quote about, jack of all trades, master of none. Well, I believe it otherwise. I believe it a little bit differently, like jack of all trades, master of one. In this video, we're going to explore this entire category and the meaning behind jack of all trades. This video is going to be about being a journalist. Now, in the entire video, I'm going to use this word. So just to make sure don't really get confused, I'm not talking about journalist, I'm talking about generalist. Okay, I know it's a bit hard to pronounce it, because whenever I pronounce the word it just sounds similar to journalist, so please don't get confused on that part. So today, now all my previous video, as I kind of made this channel no script channel, so I always just conversed about topics, but I did notice the pattern that because I always just started randomly talking, the videos flow kind of changed and it became a bit it just started at some point and went at some other point. There was no starting to end, kind of a flow. And that is why, to begin that flow, the thing is that my channel is off script. I mean, you can see that this is something else. But I have this time wrote down, bullet points only, so that it's easier for me to talk and, talk about point by point instead of just going to very different direction. We will start this video with first defining that what being a journalist actually mean and what it means for me. Okay, so basically it's not like that I have known about this whole topic and term for a very long time. It's actually been like, I don't know, the last time I think it's been half a year since I got to know about this term and got to know that this is me. Okay, and I just wanted to talk about what really it means, like being a journalist and a generalist, and everything behind of how I became one, should you become one, and something like that. See, this video is not going this video has no scientific proofs or anything or evidences, so if you are really fact-checked guy, you should actually watch some other videos on being how to go into that direction, how to actually become one, how to, like, the steps and methods to, and the guide to being a journalist. But for now, I'm just going to share about how I came to become one and how I kind of accepted the reality and how I managed my time adjusting to all the hobbies and stuff. So first of all, let's just talk about what being a journalist is. So I know there can be a bit of more complex and more kind of more defined and detailed explanation for this term, but for me it's just that having a lot of hobbies is the simplest I can break it down into. Just having a lot of hobbies, and I have a lot of hobbies. Okay, so this is what means basically being jack of all trades. Not really all, but jack of like more than one trade or more than a few trades. Okay, so jack of a few trades but master of none. Okay, now I don't really believe in being the master of none thing, so I have a hybrid for it, which is jack of all trades, master of one, and we will talk about it later on in the video. So now the second topic. Okay, now you see this will make the video more efficient. Second topic is why I always had so many interests. Basically, let's talk about to understand this, you have to go a little back into my childhood. So you see, the main thing about, in my childhood, I had the dream of being an astronaut. Definitely reality hit when I actually took science stream in college, and that is why I kind of gave up on the dream, but that is some other topic for some other time. But the basically why I so I had this whole thing of I wanted to just wait a second, let me just, this thing just gets turned off. The thing about gaming laptops is they have shitty battery when it comes to like the normal battery backup. Okay, so still, okay, so I had like a lot of interest as a child, and the main reason for that was my family itself. See, my father is kind of a guy who is also kind of jack of all trades, because he knows about almost everything a little by little. Okay, and actually he knows a lot, and sometimes I just get so surprised at how can one person remember all of this. It's not like he revises it. He's just a general chill guy, and I don't know how he can contain and maintain so much knowledge over time. Okay, and so he had knowledge about laws, writing applications. So he is very good at all of that stuff. Very good, and. And my mother, she has a very keen interest in gardening and cooking and stuff, and also crafting stuff. Okay, and to be honest, most of my things came from my mother. For example, just talking about my hobbies, so right now my biggest hobby is drawing. Okay, and I do it a lot of time, and I think that if I had pretty much a good financial support, and not really the whole middle class trap, because I am the older, the kind of like the only child in the house, so I have to take the responsibility of making it big, right? So I didn't really pursue my arts, or this, not the history arts. Okay, the arts means basically drawing and stuff, and I have so much interest in it that I sometimes spend 4 hours, 3 hours drawing, and I don't even realize that time has been passed by. I play video games, I watch anime, I watch many things, but never in my world I actually get into that flow state. It's only when I'm drawing. Nothing else, only when I'm drawing. Okay, so I had that, but this is the interest we are talking about, right? I got it from my mother. My mother was very efficient in drawing, dancing, singing, and cooking, and she had a lot of effort. She was like the multi-talented guy. So both my parents are multi-talented, and they are. And see, the term, when you hear the term multi-talented, I also used to hear that term, and it feels something simple like, yeah, someone who knows to do a lot of stuff. But when you see it firsthand, like in front of your eyes, and basically your parents, it is a completely different experience. Like, you won't believe what you are seeing. How can someone be so good at a lot of things? And she is a housewife. She manages, she cooks, and she does all of this while managing all of her hobbies too. So just feels like there's a different kind of respect that comes from your parents for all of this. So I had a lot of things, and talking about my uncle is a cinematographer. Okay, he lives in Mumbai. He is a cinematographer basically, and so he got me into the hobby of photography and everything. Okay, and I love to capture some shots of anything I can see, and so that also played a big factor. Okay. And I have some hobbies that I cannot really say my parents got me into, but yeah, they are taking photos, and basically editing and drawing has been like the most dominant hobbies of my life. Video gaming also comes on first, but we will talk about it later. Now, the third point is feeling guilty for constantly switching interests. Now, it's not like that just like I said that I had a dream of being astronaut, but it's not like that. That was a consistent dream throughout my childhood. Okay, like most of the kids out there, I also had different dreams at certain different points of my life. For example, at one time I remember I was preparing for IAS, the UPSC exam in India. So yeah, it kind of, my whole childhood just was switching between different aims and goals and different career paths, and at the end I think we just choose whatever is meant to be chosen for us, if you believe in those kind of stuff. But yeah, that is how my childhood went. That is why I got so many interests in other fields. Now, moving on to the next topic. The feeling guilty of constantly switching interests. So I had interest in guitar and learning music. I still have, but I gave it up after some time because I didn't had many class, and that time I we had like the keypad phone, not really the smartphone, and I didn't even never knew of internet at that time. So I gave up on all of that stuff, and definitely I had this whole craze that I still have of learning fighting, kickboxing or Muay Thai, and basically karate was and martial art was something I was obsessed with as a kid. But I didn't never got to join a martial art, coaching center or club, because basically due to financial condition, and you don't really get good things when you live in Bihar, okay, and we are talking about years back. Now the frustration of not being able to manage them. Now we are in this part we will talk about the pros and cons of being a journalist, okay. See, the pros, I would say that you get to explore a lot of things, and it's not like you just have to maintain all of that. You can just explore them, and you can prioritize them, and you can leave the ones that you don't feel much interested to anymore. So it's a nice way to explore many fields of our life. And at this point I will talk about one of you can say my mindsets. So it's basically I value my life a lot, and I know everyone does that, right? But for me, I you can call me a coward, whatever. I'm terrified of being injured. Why? Because I think that if I become injured, like if I lost an arm, how hard my life will be in the future, right? So I'm terrified of these things. That's why I avoid every fight, I avoid every argument and stuff. And I mean, yeah, I agree that I'm kind of a cowardly guy, but if it helps me survive, I will do anything, okay. I know that sounds very, you can say, like failure kind of thing, but that's just how my mindset is, and I'm not going to change it. I do think that it needs some sort of improvement, like being able to stand up for me at least when I need to be, or being able to stand up for my family. But for now, that is just how I am, and I will be trying to make this whole mindset a little better, and hope to improve hope to keep improving. But for now, that's just how I'm stuck. Now, as for the pros, so these are basically the pros. You get to manage a lot of things. You learn more about managing stuff, which is time management and stuff, which is a very good thing actually. And when you learn actually a lot of things, you can find something that you are very connected to. For example, if I have a very bad day, but if I just sat down and draw for 1 to 2 hours, just takes me back into a mood that just feels so good. I once with my best friend, I tried to make a manga comic, basically Japanese comic, okay. Tried to make a manga, and we made 20 pages, and we had this whole story in my mind. We wrote 2 stories down. Actually, he was the writer of that, but it didn't work out because my study was getting interrupted, and so you get to know things, you get to try a lot of things, and believe me, life is very short actually. And the term that life is very short is true. I mean, it doesn't really feels very short, but when you realize 19 years have passed by, and you look back and see at what you have achieved, it just feels a bit, you feel guilty of wasting all of that time. So I know, and because of that, sometimes I just get so deep in the thought that what I'm doing with my life, only these years are left, what will happen. Like, I know that one day will come that my parents will not longer be with me. I always wish that they always stay with me, but I know that it is inevitable. So it just gives you, it's a very deep thinking part, and when you start thinking about it, you can't stop thinking about it. It's one of the main reason why I stayed at my home and I'm doing courses online through IITM, and didn't went really to the college which I had the option. My parents gave me option, budget and everything, but I just didn't wanted to miss seeing them. And I see I will tell you about my personality, right? I'm like a cat. Okay, like my personality is very similar to a cat. I get annoyed a lot, but I'm not really comfortable with being alone. Okay, that part. I mean, I need space. I need personal space, and I need a lot of personal space. So basically, when I'm doing anything, any kind of work, I like to work alone. Okay, any kind of work, I like to work alone. Whether even if I'm drawing or I'm doing something like that, I like to work alone. Even if I'm watching a movie or show, I like to watch it alone, not with anyone else. That is kind of a personal space that I required, but it's not like that I don't want to be social. Okay, because right now I have no social life and I miss that. I crave that, and it's really hard to live a life with no connections. I know many people would enjoy that. Yeah, many people are strong enough to sustain that, but it's not me. Okay, and it's one of the point that having a lot of interest actually helps you to find a point or find something that when you do it, your entire days, the all your worries and everything melts down on that thing, and you can get to that flow state that I always talk about. Now, coming to the next topic, which is the frustration of not being able to manage them. Actually, I was talking about that topic. So, see, the thing about is, I had a lot of things. Okay, so I right now we will talk about what my schedule is right now a little bit later. Okay, now see, so right now I have only a few hobbies. For example, drawing, and sometimes just doing some DIYs and taking care of plants and something like that. So some things, only some things are in my hobby list right now. But once I had a lot of stuff, and it was also one of the reason why I gave up on music and many things. And it's because it's hard to manage them. It's very hard to manage them. I know. See, the thing is that you can't always have the freedom to choose all of the things, right? You can't save them all. So it's just kind of thing. You have to give up on the things that you enjoy the least, and you have to start prioritizing and removing some of the things, and having only a little bit of it, because it will be hard. Like for now, I'm a college student, and I'm very weak in mathematics and everything. So I'm very weak in numerical solving and stuff. Very weak. And when I say very weak, I almost fail. I've been failing for two terms. Okay, and I almost scored near failure in 11th, 10th, and 12th board. So you can think that all my subjects are good, but my math sucks, and it's kind of very miracle. Like, it's weirdly amazing that how I'm able to score good in physics and everything, but math, I suck at maths. I suck a lot. And so yeah, because of that, I had to give my academics a lot of time, and then I'm learning SQL and basically tools like programming, coding a little bit, Python a little bit, for basically to build skills for data analytics and stuff. And that is why most of my schedule, I will give you a screenshot of it. Okay, what my weekly schedules usually looks like, and to make time in that is very hard considering all of the things. It's not like I'm a very busy guy, no, or I'm on a successful path. It's just that, okay, I'm sorry. It's just that I'm weak in a lot of things. That's why I have to spend a lot of time in just being average in them. Okay, and that is why it gets hard to manage all of that. Very hard. But you eventually realize that, okay, and it's one of the part, okay, accepting that I can't have all. Okay, so eventually you will realize that, and reality will hit you so hard that you will start accepting that, okay, I can't have it all, but I will have what I love the most. That is just how this whole thing is. So it's not like you being a journalist just mean that no, you should have a lot of hobbies. No. And in this way, I also want to mention being a hybrid kind of guy. Okay, which is jack of all trades and master of one. It's almost, I kind of heard about it. It's like a tea thing. Okay, so you are a jack, like you have knowledge for many things, but you are also good, particularly very good at one specialized thing, and that increases your chance at being good or at being successful at anything, because you are good at one thing, which increases your chances of getting hired or do something in that field very much, and you are still pretty much knowledgeable in more of the things, which is a perfect kind of a skill set you need in the modern era. Okay, and the hybrid thing is what I believe in, but I don't really have anything I'm very good at. And last topic is also how I get into all of this. Okay, so I have this whole thing about being obsessed to a single thing for a certain time. So let's say I hear about fitness. Okay, suddenly like a whole insect goes into my head and start controlling my brain, and I get obsessed over this thing. And I get so obsessed that I will spend like 1 to 3 months completely researching about it, and then I will just drop it, and that thing goes into back of my head and it actually stays there. It's not like I forget about it, it stays there. So whenever after 1 year 2 year I came back to that thing, I will have a particularly memory for that, and it's amazing for me. I wonder why I can't do that for studies and maths too, but it's amazing. That's just the kind of guy I am. And well, the conclusion is that you are free to do whatever, but being a journalist have actually given me the chance to see life as a different angle, taking interest in a lot of things, exploring a lot of things, and life becomes kind of like an adventure story for you. So that's all for today. Sayonara, and definitely give it a thought and write down comments.